All right, I know it's been a long time since we put out a daily highlight video. It's because we were on vacation over the Christmas week. Not a great time to trade. We did come back this week on Monday, and volume was just ridiculous, so I only had a couple calls, not even worthy of a highlight video. Yesterday, I took the day off sick, probably due to being on a cruise ship. We took the family on a cruise to the Bahamas over the Christmas break, which, by the way, was just beautiful, and 80 degrees at the Atlantis resort, and it was very nice. But anyway, I think I caught something on the ship because I was feeling pretty down yesterday, and you can probably hear it in my voice today. So having said that, we did get back up and running today, and volume's still ridiculous. I think it'll come back next week, but we're still kind of hanging out, teaching our methods, taking kind of a day-long question and answer, and hoping to find some trades, but I'm not trying to push anything because volume's so low. But I will share a couple nice ones with you from today. Dean Foods looked like this when I found it last night. I like this base. Remember, we actually had it on watch. It was our free pick when it looked like this. The very next day, it gapped up and ran. Remember that? Well, then today, or last night, it looked like this, and I liked it over this base, 840. I said could give you a nice kind of a second wave after this pop and the pullback. Now, switching to 5-minute candles, you can see it opened at 840. Anytime we get a stock with a trigger price that we have from the night before based on the daily chart, that either triggers above or triggers in the first 5 minutes, we usually say we're going to hold off and look for a better entry. All right, we don't just grab it at the open because the market's too whippy and it's too strong of a chance to get whipped out of it. So something triggers in the first 5 minutes, we sit on our hands. But we did have a subsequent entry using our gap play method, which is basically if we get a narrow range for the first 5 minutes, which we did. And remember, this was in kind of breakout territory on the daily now by opening up here. We want to buy a break of the 5-minute high, which would have been the 5-minute high was 843 and the 5-minute low was 840. It doesn't get much more narrow than that. So the trigger to buy is 844 if it hits it with an 839 stop. That's a nickel per share risk. There it is. It triggered at 844. Remember, our stop's at 839, and as I scroll, just kept climbing all day. Went almost to 870. With a stop a nickel below our entry. So just recapping there was the entry call, there was a stop that never got hit and ran all the way up to here. So a nice one there on Dean Foods. Electronic Arts, same deal. I found this early on, didn't even have it on watch, but I found it as the market was unfolding this morning. I liked this little gap up on Electronic Arts on the daily chart. I said it looked good. Called it as a gap play as well. In other words, a break of the 5-minute high, which was right there. Worst case stop here. And that was about an 8 cent risk. And from 1626 almost to 1660 here on, again, a very, very tight trigger and stop, or very, very tight risks. And another, I guess, benefit of our service, Tesla, I found today, wasn't even on watch. And I didn't make this an official call. Now, the Dean Foods and Electronic Arts, I actually posted as announcements, pops up on our member screen. I was showing the charts at the time to show the setup. I was also projecting Tesla live, and this is the opening 5-minute candle here. It went 27.03 was the high, came back up and based, and Tesla's been beaten up for a couple days. So I did tell our members, I was showing the chart, I said 27.04 with a stop below this base could get you some upside because it's so beaten up, and it's a nice setup too. I didn't take Tesla myself because I was open about this. I don't like the way Tesla trades. Having said that, though, went all the way to 28. So basically a dollar move there, and it never really did look back at the entry. So there's an example of one that I don't get to put on our results page because it wasn't an official call, but yet still, projected it live and made the call in real time. Thompson Creek Metals was another one. Here's the daily. Looked like this last night when I found it. I said over 1417 could work nicely. Switching to 5s today. So 1418 was the trigger, right about there. And from 1418, made it almost to 1470. My worst case stop on that, we don't know the stop ahead of time because we don't know how it's going to open, but my worst case stop would have been the low of the day. So that, a little over 20 cents, so that's a little wider of a stop than I would like. But having said that, still another nice move, and some members made some nice money on that as well. So I don't think I'm going to put out a free pick this week because volume's too just ridiculously low. So we're still finding stuff, and we're still having fun in chat and coming up with the Q&A sessions and answering people's questions, showing setups on the fly. But overall, it's just too slow, really, for me to be calling anything rapid fire. So, I'm not going to call in this kind of volume, I'm not going to put out any free picks. Unless I really find something I love, I would say look for our next free pick post-holiday next week sometime, unless I find something I really love. So, all right, I'm going to quit babbling. There's our highlight video from today. We may have one tomorrow and Friday, and we may not because volume's so low. So we'll see. But have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.